Alright, what's going on, guys? 18 years. I've been counting the days until the release of Metroid Prime 4. And you think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. I remember seeing the Metroid Other M posters going up at my local Walmart and being so excited because I thought it was Prime 4, only to realize it wasn't. And we'd be waiting a very, very long time for the next Prime game. Well, here we are a generation later. And was it worth the wait? I don't know, man. I really don't. I've been playing the game since it launched. I'm a good portion through it. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm well over halfway. I waited so long for this game. I'm not gonna rush things. I'm gonna try to 100% it, do everything I can to get the full measure of it. But as of right now, I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions about this game because it means so much to me. The Metroid Prime games are my favorite games of all time. I grew up on these games, and they've really shaped my life. So when I talk about these things in this video, and the parts of this game that don't sit right with me, it's not from a place of malice or wanting the game to be bad. Nobody wants this game to be good, more so than me. And I can say that 100% genuinely. Is Metroid Prime 4 a good game? I can 100% say, absolutely, it's a great game. And if this is your first Metroid Prime, then you'll likely love it. But if you're someone that's carried the legacy of Metroid Prime with you, played the trilogy, there's a lot about this game that won't sit right with you. But let's start out with the good. From a bare bones skeleton perspective of this game, it is Metroid Prime. All of the core is there. You are playing a Metroid Prime game and you are getting the Metroid Prime experience. And it does feel like no time has passed in the way that it's presented. You are still guns up, exploring an alien world, taking note of everything around you through scanning and research, solving puzzles, backtracking, and doing all of it while jamming out to a soundtrack which is probably my favorite part of the game. And what is absolutely undeniable is that this is the best looking game on Switch 2, and it runs so well. I genuinely can't believe this is running on a Nintendo console. Performance wise, it's flawless, not even a single frame drop. And I've been playing at 4K 60 in quality mode, which is again par for the course for the Metroid Prime trilogy. I mean, there are a ton of moments in this game where I'm just taking in the environments, stopping to look around at how beautiful everything is, and listen to the music. And from a set piece perspective, everything is epic, the settings are awesome, and all the cutscenes are super cinematic. They really knocked it out of the park here from a production standpoint. And there's this moment where you turn on the generator in the ice area, and it looks so cool and the soundtrack changes, and it's moments like these that I live for in Metroid Prime. All you're doing is powering on a machine, but they make it so epic and so moody and atmospheric. I love it. And the majority of the time, that's exactly how the game is. It really feels like Metroid Prime. You're there. The same feeling as all those years ago, until it's not. For every hour to 2 hours of good Metroid Prime gameplay that you have, you'll have about 15 minutes of some of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had, where you have the most hand-holdy, infantile tutorials, even after you're a long way into this game. And at times, it just treats you like you're the dumbest person in the world.
What you see in front of you is the entrance to the closest area with the teleporter key. If you want to contact me going forward, use the radio command on the map screen. I'll help in any way I can.
Now, the old Prime games did have moments where you had map markers, and if you were lost for long enough, it would give you an objective. It was never anything more than seismic activity detected in this area, or anomalous readings found in this sector, and that's it. But there are several times in this game where it straight up rips the controls from you and shows you the full route, or Mackenzie comes over the radio saying, "Hey, I know exactly where this temple key is, make sure you go here." And then he'll ask, "Do you need me to repeat that?" And it's not like he's talking to Samus. It's very immersion breaking because they're speaking in terms like they're talking to you, the player. And that at its base form is just bad writing. And it has no place in a Metroid Prime game where the number one thing that makes the Metroid Prime games good is immersion. And then of course we have the desert, which turned out to be exactly like I was saying in my video, or you all said I was going to be wrong. A giant empty desert between all the areas that's ugly, that serves no function, and really should not be in the game at all. Just give me interconnected areas areas with shortcuts? Why do we need a big desert where you have to travel for 2 to 3 minutes between areas in absolute nothingness? This does not belong in a Metroid Prime game. It should have been taken out. The only reason it's here is to give you an illusion of choice, of free exploration, but you actually don't have that because there's only one way to go before your path gets barred by an upgrade you don't have. The game is, unfortunately, incredibly linear, even more so than all the other Metroid Prime games. I think literally the only reason they put this in the game was to say, hey Zelda fans, look, we have a Hyrule field too. But all this ends up doing in the game is breaking your immersion, breaking your flow state, and giving you dead time for absolutely no reason. It's horrible, the game is worse off for it, and it turned out exactly like I said it was going to turn out, because we know what makes Metroid Prime, and this is not it. But now I gotta talk about one thing that actually infuriates me that I haven't seen anybody mention, and that is the way they've done scanning. And again, if you didn't play the old Metroid Prime games, you probably wouldn't notice it, but in this game, every item you scan is green. But in the old games, items used to be colored differently based on their importance. So now this creates a situation where you have to scan literally every item, not knowing how important it is, because, as you may not know in the Metroid Prime games, in order to get 100%, you have to get 100% of scans. But not every scan used to be required for the secret ending. So you could kind of tell what was necessary and what wasn't. But in this one, everything is colored exactly the same. And I'll give you an example of how this backfires big time. There's a section in the ice shelf level where after you turn on the generator that I was talking about earlier, every computer in the building that you had already scanned up to that point now turns online, and you can rescan them. But again, since everything is colored green, you don't know if those are required scans or not, so you're just gonna have to scan them all anyway. And another bad part of this is that they got rid of all the suit voice lines. So the only voices you heard in Prime 1 or Prime 2 was your suit talking to you. Primarily, when you scan important information or lore, it would say recording to logbook.
Recording to logbook. Data received.
And it was super atmospheric and just a really cool voice line in general. And I'm sad that it's gone. And there's just a lot of little things like that as a longtime player, I find myself missing. And the final thing that really bugs me about this game is that the game feels like it relies way too much on trying to just be Prime 1. I mean, we've got the same biomes, the same beam upgrades. Aside from Volt Forge, there's nothing really here that feels truly novel. And that's part of what bugged me about Prime 3 is you had all this nostalgia bait going back to Prime 1, and then maybe one level that was truly new. But that game still innovated in a ton of new ways, with things like the other bounty hunters, Planet Phase, Hyper Mode, and all of that. Prime 4 leaves me wanting to be truly surprised. And the psychic powers are pretty cool, but they don't really do anything new. And I can't help but just think back to Prime 2 and how much that game innovated. Even though the setting is new, the characters are new, and all of that in Prime 4, I still have this feeling that the game hasn't cemented its own identity. But maybe that's just me. Now, I really hate to be negative about this game, because again, overall, I think it is a really good game. It's just the worst Metroid Prime game. But if being the worst Metroid Prime game means it's still an 8 out of 10, that's still a really good game. The thing is, you can just tell that this game was made for people who are not Metroid Prime fans. It was made to introduce a new audience, and I don't blame them for doing that. But for us fans that waited 18 years for this, I think it is fair for us to have expected a little bit more. Something fresher, and a game that takes itself as seriously as Prime 1 and 2 did. Now again, I haven't finished the game yet. Maybe the second half of the game is just the best thing ever, and it completely makes up for all the shortcomings that I've mentioned so far, and I really hope it does. But just based on the pattern that I've played, I'm not really holding my breath for that. But these are just my first impressions with Prime 4. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the game now. I am having fun. The soundtrack is definitely my favorite part, and the graphics are amazing. But if you're playing Prime 4, let me know what you think about it down below, and have you played the other Primes? I guess all I can say in this is, if you haven't played Metroid Prime 2, go play that one, and you'll understand why I have the feelings I do. Anyways though guys, that is gonna do it for the video today. Is Metroid Prime 4 worth playing? Yeah, definitely. It's a great game, and you're really gonna love it. If you don't have that prior experience in Metroid Prime, I think it will serve as a great introduction to the series to inspire you to go play the older ones. And hopefully Nintendo actually uses their brain and brings Prime 2 and 3 to the Switch. That would really bring back the franchise in a way that I think they're setting it up to. But y'all let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new around here, and I will catch you in the next one.